What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Playbook. My name is Josh Randall.
My name's Tyler Wright.
And very shortly, we will be joined by a very special guest. Tyler mentioned him a lot last week's name is Pat Finnegan, one of the smartest people about sports in the Lakes region, without a doubt. Probably smarter than us, which, that's not always hard to do. However, so Tyler, big stuff happening. How was your weekend? I mean, sports hasn't really happened much, but
you're looking at it. I've been here this entire week. I've been playing some video games, kind of boring me. I played Anthony 2K yesterday.
You've been killing me in Madden, that's for sure.
I killed you in Madden. I made Anthony rage quit. I've been working a lot.
There you go.
I miss school. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I've heard did you see what Donald Trump's doing today?
He's leaving it up to the governors. Yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah,
I watched the comments a little bit today, but
he's trying to make the sports world come back. And your TV went out.
Again? Oh, it just turned off.
Yeah. He's trying to make the sports world come back and stuff because as he said in a tweet, we need sports. It's
we do. Agreed.
If sports comes back, that'd be amazing.
Is you not going to turn
I heard we probably won't go. We will not be going back to school. I heard so.
No, well, I tell you what. I heard that sports can resume in late May. It's just there can't be any people. But even now, we're seeing a slow. New York has what do you call it? The state of New York kind of summited a little bit, starting to go down now, which is really good. We could have the world back in maybe another 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how fast it came to be, this wacky reality. But anyways, in sports news, yesterday was National Signing Day for high school athletes. The big loser, though, that I know of is Michigan losing 2 5-star recruits that had promised to go to Michigan for the next year. That never actually ended up happening. Michigan is, well, that's what happens when you get Harbaugh coaching your football team. You just have bad luck for your life.
That's true, because I don't know. It's sports world.
Yeah. When is NFL draft? That's 2 weeks? I know there's a lot of talk about it. I know the WNBA draft is coming up, which, very exciting. I know I tell you what. What's up?
I said so exciting,
Anyways, we had the NBA horse tournament, which we will get to a little bit later. That was interesting to watch, say the least.
It's absolutely amazing, that horse tournament. Trae Young losing. We have the clip of him losing, but still, the fact that he lost to Chauncey, however you say his name.
Chauncey Billups, one of the best.
He lost it off a backboard three.
Listen, Trae Young has never succeeded in 3-point shooting competitions. You know about that.
Yeah, because it's kind of sad watching him.
It's kind of sad him being one of the best 3-point shooters in the league and still failing in a game of horse.
That is very true.
Come on.
I don't know.
I must say, though, it seemed to be a lot less chaotic and a lot more fun than we used to do it in gym class with all the rules and stuff that either Anthony or yourself would make up.
Hey, man. Hey. In my defense, I made up the rules before the game. Anthony made up the rules during the game.
Okay, well, all right. So, listen, this is how we used to do it. If you get to letter E, right, if you spell out horse, you get half-court shot. Now, how many do you get? You get, 3 attempts?
1 half-court shot.
You get 1 half-court shot. If you make it, you go back to letter R. I think that's really good. I think everything else is kind of ridiculous, but
Well, it looks like we're gonna be calling Patrick. He won't be joining the call because his computer and phone isn't really working to this call.
I don't know if that's
just gonna call him in.
We can give it a go.
All right, 1 second.
I'm not really sure if that's gonna work at all, but
you have him right. I have my phone right here. I put him on my computer.
I don't know how the audio is gonna work, but we give it a go.
All right.
We're having some technical difficulties, everybody. Patrick was supposed to join the video conference, but he's unable to do so. But he's still, doing his best. So we're gonna be getting right into that.
You hear that?
No.
Wait. Hey, Pat.
Is that him?
Yes, Pat. All right.
Welcome to the show, Pat. How are you doing on this extravagant day, I would say?
Doing well, other than having some technical difficulties, but
I must say, though, your audio is coming through very nicely, actually, other than the lag, but, it's fine. We got you. That's the important bit. Okay, so.
All right, so start off everything. You guys talk for a little bit while I bring up the graphics.
Yeah, so, Patrick, we've wanted to have you on the show for a long time. We think you're probably one of the smartest sports, people in the Lakes region. So this is actually very cool for us because we've actually used we've actually sided with you on a lot of things in a couple of our shows. Tyler being the main part, he talks about you the most, which I think is kind of weird, but I think it's what it is. I think it's actually not bad. But yeah, we use your stuff a lot. We think you're a great candidate for the show. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. Appreciate you guys referencing me, mentioning me. I love sports just as much as you guys, and I love when I hear my name called in the show. So it's cool.
Absolutely. All right, so Patrick, our topic today is the starting five of the most underrated players in the NBA. My graphics are up, so I will go first.
The way we're going to do this is that Josh's going to read his, we're going to stop, and then we're going to talk about it, and then I'll go through mine, and then we can go through yours.
Anyways, at our point guard, we got Kemba Walker. I'm wearing the jersey right now. 21.2 points per game this season, almost 4.5 rebounds, and almost 5 assists. I feel like Kemba Walker, not to mention he won the national title with UConn back in 2011. One of the greatest underdog stories in NCAA history. I feel like he himself gets overlooked a lot as far like if you were to say to me or if I was to tell you who are the 5 best point guards in the league right now, I don't think Kemba Walker would be on your list until like now. I think he's been the best replacement for Kyrie that the Celtics could have ever asked for. I feel like he's doing his job and then some. I feel like he's leading that team a lot better than Kyrie did. And he's getting along with everybody, which is great. And even when he was on the Hornets, he was one of the best point guards in the league. So, but overlooked he's been. Anyways, next up. Speaking of the Hornets, we've got Devontae Graham, 18.2 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, and 7.5 assists. I would say at this point, he is definitely the favorite for most improved player. I feel like what he did, the shoes that he needed to fill when Kemba left Charlotte, I feel like he's doing a really good job. I feel like he's being a very crucial part of that team, and he's going to need a contract extension coming up this offseason. So I feel like Charlotte would be stupid to let him go.
All right,
yeah, absolutely. I've got a couple of them in there. I didn't mean to do that, but I feel like this is another one. I actually share a birthday with Will Barton. Will Barton on the Denver Nuggets, a small forward, 15 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, and almost 4 assists. I feel like he hasn't really earned his starting spot yet in Denver, but he's been a very, very good sixth man. He's working his way into the squad very well. He's filling the hole that he needs to fill, and one day he's going to get a starting spot. He's been asking for it so far this season. If the season is to come back, I'm sure we could see him in it.
All right, and then we got
Blake Griffin. I feel like, we'll start off with the stats. And these stats, they look a lot worse than they should be because of the fact that he's been dealing with injuries mostly this season. 15.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and 3.5 assists. I feel like ever since Blake Griffin left the Clippers, he's been kind of overlooked as one of the best players. He's still one of the best forwards in the league, in my opinion. I just feel like since he's left the Clippers, he has not gotten that, he's not been in the spotlight as much. But he's still carrying that team along. He's still, he's doing great things for the Pistons. And I feel like when he's not injured, he's one of the best players in the league.
Right, and then your center.
And then next up, we got Domantas Sabonis, 18.5 points per game, 12.4 rebounds, and 5 assists for Sabonis. Another young talent that OKC threw away. And I feel like that's going to come back to haunt him because he's only like 23, 24. So he's got a bright future ahead of him. He's
was he on OKC?
Yeah, he was. I'm pretty sure his rookie year he was on OKC. Actually, I know for a fact he was on OKC. I don't know when exactly.
That's right. Because the old Depot trade, right, or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think he might have been on their G League team.
Yeah.
Could have been. But all I know is he's becoming one of the best players in the league. He's not there yet, but he's gonna be a big name in this league one day. And then finally, my sixth man. I got a lot of hate for putting him as my sixth man, but just like the people themselves, their opinions are irrelevant to me. So anyways, Six-man, Donovan Mitchell, 24.5 points per game, 4.5 rebounds, and nearly 4.5 assists. I feel like ever since he lost Rookie of the Year to Ben Simmons, he's been overlooked kind of as a shooting guard. I feel like he's still one of the best in the league. I feel like he still has the most potential. I feel like he's got a shoe deal now, which is great for him. His second line is coming out this summer, I think. I feel like he gets overlooked a lot. He doesn't always get appreciated as much as he should. I think a lot of people could have even forgot that he was an all-star this year, which, he didn't get many minutes on the floor. But, he's leading that Jazz team. And I feel like, if this Rudy Gobert COVID-19 thing never happens, I feel like we could have seen Mitchell stay in Utah for his whole career. Now it's starting to not look like that. I feel like there might be some team chemistry issues that's going to be ironed out. But, Mitchell's still I think still one of the best shooting guards in the league, in my opinion. I think Bleacher Report listed him as number 6 in the league. But still, on that basis, I think he's still overlooked as a player, and his time in the spotlight will come very shortly.
All right. Now,
so, what do y'all think about that? I guess.
Pat, what do you think about it?
First off, Kemba. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm like the biggest Celtics fan, probably out of all of us. I don't know how big of a Celtics fan Josh is, but so I love Kemba, but I don't really think he's that underrated anymore, at least. I could see you make the argument for Kemba being underrated,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
3 years ago. But right now, I mean, the dude was voted into to be a starter in the All-Star game, which means, the fans recognize him as one of the top point guards in the league and the top point guard in the Eastern Conference. So right now, I don't know if I go underrated, maybe underappreciated, but underrated.
I agree with that.
The love he deserves.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
All right, then his shooting guard.
Any thoughts on him? What do you anybody?
Devontae Graham's a great pick. I think he's underrated too. Don't really have much to say on that.
All right, then his small forward, Will Barton.
If anything, nobody knows who Will Barton is.
Will Barton's one of those guys where he's like, he always does better than you think he's doing. But I also feel like there are some small forwards that are a little more underrated because they have the same level of recognition. But I think they're better than Will Barton. We'll get to that later.
Yep.
All right, then it's power forward, Mr. Blake Griffin.
For me, Blake Griffin just didn't play enough this season to be considered underrated or overrated.
Injury.
He got injured in November and then didn't play really again the rest of the season. So kind of hard to gauge where Blake would have been, if he had played, if he hadn't played. Over his career, historically, Blake Griffin's been a pretty popular player. So I think at the power forward position, there might be a couple other options for underrated players.
All right, then his center, Sabonis.
Sabonis is a great pick, but, I think Sabonis, in the wake of Oladipo getting hurt, is actually kind of getting that recognition that he deserves. He made the All-Star team, played a decent amount of minutes in the All-Star game. If I remember correctly, Nick Nurse played him a decent amount. So, I think he could have more recognition, but there are some other guys who I feel like put up even better numbers and aren't even talked about at all.
With Sabonis, I feel like when Oladipo comes back, he'll start losing his fame again, and then
already had it back, but
Well, I mean, like fully healthy and stuff.
It's kind of like that whole when you're the guy and you're getting a lot more shots, anybody can put up good stats. Like you look at Kevin Love in Minnesota, putting up 26 points per game, and then he gets teammates again, and all of a sudden he's back down to 17, 18, that type of thing.
And his sixth man, D. Mitch.
Mitchell, I don't know. I feel like Mitchell's kind of the same boat as Kemba. I feel like he's a big enough starter where he's not really underrated. He's a top shooting guard, but in my opinion, he's not I feel like he's rated properly. I don't think he's underrated or overrated. I think he's right around that 5 to 6 range when he's talking about.
Would you say he's underappreciated though, like Kemba? Would you say that at least?
I think he's hated on. I don't know if I'd say underappreciated.
Yeah, I see him being hated too.
And I think that just has a lot to do with Utah Jazz fans in general are hated on throughout the NBA.
That is, yep.
All right, now we'll go to my pick.
Who wants to go next? We're going to Tyler's? Okay, I'm excited for this. Tell you what.
I am nervous for this.
Are you? I only know you. I only know of one player you have on this team. I'm kind of shaky on everyone else. I actually have no idea. So.
All right. So we'll start off with Donovan Mitchell. That's your guy. But then for my starting point guard, we have Jamal Murray with 18.8 points per game, 3.9 total rebounds, and 4.8 assists. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the shine because Jokic has the shine on that team kind of thing. But, like, I feel like he's one of the underrated, like, point guards in the league. He doesn't get, like, he's good on a degree. And there's games where he just goes off, and there's games where he just, like, doesn't kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's why I rated him as my shooting guard or my point guard. That's my shooting guard, the one and only Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, with 19.3 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, and 3.3 assists. I mean, so far he is playing amazing and stuff. But no one really looks towards the Thunder way. It's like it's the Thunder; they've never really been good, kind of thing. I just hate on them for no reason. But getting Shai from the Paul George trade was probably one of the best things the Thunder have gotten because he's producing as a young buck kind of thing. Like he's getting the numbers they need. Like probably one of the best position or probably the best player in his position on that team. And I mean, he's not an all-star, not like anything like that. I mean, he was on the USA team.
Not yet.
I feel like he deserves more appreciation for the stuff he does for that team and stuff. He's just not talked about at all, really.
Well, neither are the Thunder at this point, but they should be because the Thunder are playing very well.
Thunder are 40-24 before the season ended.
And Chris Paul loves Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
A bunch of public interviews and stuff. Chris Paul said how good he thinks Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is going to be and will continue to be in the future. So when you're getting praise from an NBA legend like that, you're probably doing the right sort of thing.
Yeah. Then we have small forward is Danilo Gallinari with 19.2 points per game, 5.5 rebounds, and 2.1 assists. I mean, I guess it's another Thunder player, but again, great trade thing for Paul George. Got two young stars stuff. But I honestly don't think Gallinari is going to stay this year or next year. It's a toss-up if he stays or not, but he's producing for the Thunder. He's shooting. When they need a shooter, he'll be the shooter for them. I mean, he is probably the most he does not get any talk. If you go on the news right now or you type about Thunder, I guarantee you will not see a single thing about Gallinari until maybe 4 pages down. So he's just not talked about at all. But he's a great player in his position. He produces for the Thunder when they need him to produce, and then he just gets the job done for them. Then for the power forward, we got Montrezl Harrell.
Another Brewster alum. Continue.
Another one, yeah.
18.6 points per game, total rebounds 7.1, and 1.3 assists. He doesn't get that much appreciation or thing like that because he's playing with Lou Williams, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Tobias Harris, right? Or he'd leave. But
I don't have an answer.
Either way, he doesn't get he's not an all-star. He's not he's never been in those kind of things.
Yeah, but he's in the West, though.
That is true because West is competitive and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? No.
As far as all-star spots go, I mean, Paul George didn't even make the all-star game this year. That's how competitive the West is.
But I just feel I don't know. Montrezl Harrell does a lot for that team, and he doesn't get talked about for it because he's playing with the big stars like Paul George and Kawhi, so they get all the credit for the team and stuff. That's why I rate him as my center. And then my power forward, Then my center, it's Andre Drummond.
Ooh.
Cleveland Cavaliers. 17.7 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, and 2.7 assists. I mean, I kind of forgot he was in the league. I thought he was injured or something like that. I've never heard of him. Recently, got traded from the Pistons on the Cavs with Kevin Love. I never really heard anything more about him, but I looked at his numbers and he's producing for that team, but he's not getting talked about at all for it. I'm just why? He's producing for the team. Him and Kevin Love are good together as a pair and stuff. I just feel he needs to be talked about more. He's very underrated for his position. My sixth man got Dennis Schroeder.
Really?
With 19 points per game, 3.7 rebounds, and 4.1 assists. Coming off the bench, Dennis does a lot for the Thunder. I don't understand. I felt before getting Chris Paul, I thought they were going to start him at the point guard and stuff. But coming off the bench, this is six man. He does amazing for this team. He comes out, produces, makes a lot of shots. He just there. I don't know what else to say about him. Oh my god, okay. That's fun. He's just there for the team, and he just when they need his help, he'll help them.
All right, Tyler, go take care of your dog. Me and Patrick will discuss your life. So Patrick, I mean, I want to say I don't know. I feel like I almost want to disagree about Andre Drummond, but not because.
Yeah, I feel like he's a pretty well-known person.
And I think the only reason he's not talked about is because he's on the Cavs.
Yeah, as soon as he got traded, I feel like that kind of brought his popularity back up. People started talking about him again. They realized, oh, he's a potential free agent this offseason. Teams are going to be looking into him and this and that. Kind of got a lot more media coverage, especially over the last 3-4 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's Drummond's fault whatsoever that he's being overlooked. I think it's because he's playing on the Cavs. That's the only thing I have with that, honestly.
Yeah. And then Montrezl Harrell, I just feel like he's in such a big market, and he's on the team that everybody's saying we're going to be title favorites before the season. I feel like he finished top 3 in 6 men of the year voting last year. I feel like Montrezl Harrell, people might not think of him when it comes to best power forwards in the NBA, but I don't really think that's what he is. People think of him when it comes to the best role players, best six men, and that's exactly what he is. So I think people think of Montrezl Harrell as what he's meant to be,
What about Shea?
Honestly, you want me to be completely honest?
A lot of people have been kind of cherry picking Shea because when they talk about the Thunder, Shea is obviously one of those main pieces that they talk about. So
yeah. About
I
Murray.
honestly did not do any research on Shea before this, and I'm I don't want to say surprised, but his numbers are actually looking really good. And I feel like Thunder haven't been the best at trading people, as you may very well know. But I feel like if the Thunder can keep their youth, and I think if they can hold on to Shea and they could, hold on to Gallinari and whoever else, I feel like they could potentially be a factor.
Yeah, there are a ton of draft picks.
My only problem with Shea is I hear his name a lot when people talk about most improved player. So I feel like he is getting a little bit of media coverage in that sense, but he still is having a really good season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamal Murray.
No comment.
What's that supposed to be?
I don't really have an opinion. I think Jamal Murray is a little overrated, if anything.
That is true.
I don't understand why people hate Jamal Murray, specifically Lakers fans, but I don't know. I feel like Jamal Murray last year.
Lonzo a couple of years ago, where he's dribbling around him after the game was over.
Yeah.
I think Jamal Murray thinks he's better than he is. Like you guys said, like Tyler said, he's just kind of inconsistent, a little too inconsistent for me. And he'd be good as a team's third option, but as the Nuggets' second option, I don't really see them going anywhere with him.
Yeah, that's true. What about Gallinari? You guys haven't talked about him yet, I don't think.
No.
I don't have a strong opinion on him, if I'm honest. His numbers are looking really good, though, and he deserves a lot more airtime. I think he's doing really good for the Thunder. I feel like he's not fit in all the way yet to that team, but he's going to get there. And I feel like if he keeps doing his thing and he keeps playing well alongside Shea and alongside Dennis Schroeder, he's going to be a real force on that team if he isn't already.
I feel like Gallinari is one of those players where he's really good for you in fantasy, and his stats look better than he actually plays. I haven't watched a ton of Thunder games, but one of the ones I did watch was when they were playing the Celtics, and Gallinari did great in the first quarter. He had 10 points, I think, or something in the first quarter. and after that, he seemed to like disappear the rest of the game. So I feel like Gallinari is like one of those players where his stats say he has a better impact on the game than he actually does.
Yeah.
And that's why I kicked Jamal Murray off my fantasy team. But continue.
Now, Dennis Schroeder.
I don't know. I have mixed thoughts about him. I feel like when he originally came into OKC, was it last season? Am I right about that?
For sure.
Yeah, this second year.
2 years ago.
Yeah, when he came into OKC last season, it didn't really look like he was fitting in well at the beginning. But the more that he finds his place in that team, the better he's going to perform. We saw that with Dennis Schroeder, for the longest time. So I feel like he can do really good things with that team. I think he just needs to, find his place, find his rhythm at least. I feel like a lot of the players on your list, Tyler, are just inconsistent. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good list, and the players you got are good. I just think the majority of them are very inconsistent, Dennis Schroeder included,
Yeah.
Dennis Schroeder, he's good, but I feel like I don't know if I'd call him underrated. I think he's just like odds-on favorite. I don't know.
True.
Like the betting odds, but I
mean,
feel like he's probably the favorite to win Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
In that conversation, I feel like people kind of know about Dennis Schroeder and what he's doing for the Thunder. So I don't know if I call him underrated. I'd still say he's a really good Sixth Man, though.
Yeah. All right, now let's hear yours, Pat.
Oh, I'm excited for this.
All right, my team. At the point guard, I had Spencer Dinwiddie. Kind of had to be forced to be on the bench and then come back and start, depending on whether Kyrie was playing or not. And despite all that, like, up and down, he's still averaging 21 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists on fairly decent field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. He's not the best, most efficient shooter, but he's one of the only consistent options the Nets have, and night in and night out, he's dropping 20 points and 5+ assists, and he's never mentioned when it comes to All-Stars. I think he only has like one Player of the Week this year, and he's one of those guys where when you watch him live, you don't want him to have the ball in his hands if you're rooting against him because he's dangerous with it.
Yeah.
Shooting guard, I had Drew Holiday, which I don't know how because I feel like Drew Holiday's been underrated for years. You go back to that 2018 playoff series where he just absolutely shut down Damian Lillard.
That's true.
He's
I
one of
remember
the
that.
best defensive guards in the league. Like him and Marcus Smart, I think, are probably the 2 best defensive guards. But then on top of that, he gives you great offensive numbers. He was averaging 20 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, 46% field goal shooting. Especially on that Pelicans team where Zion kind of gets all the coverage, and Lonzo Ball's this big media personality, and Brandon Ingram was their all-star. I feel like Drew Holiday is like potentially their best and most consistent player night in and night out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I can see that. He's producing.
And then small forward, I had Bojan Bogdanovic, still on the Jazz, not Bogdan from the Kings.
Yeah.
Bojan, this year is career high in points. He's up to over 20 a game. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, but he's shooting over 40% from 3, 90% from the free throw line.
Damn.
I mean, we've always known he's been a good shooter, but I think
he's not
when he went to the Jazz, Quinn Snyder he fits into Quinn Snyder's system a lot better than he did with Nate McMillan in Indiana, and he's getting a lot more shots. The Jazz are getting him the ball more, and he's actually been, when Donovan Mitchell is getting doubled and, Donovan Mitchell can't get a shot off, Bojan Bogdanovic has actually been one of their, clutch go-to, clutch time performers. I remember that game winner against the Rockets.
That was him?
That, off-balance streak. So.
Oh, dang. He's good.
So, and I feel like nobody talks about him.
Yeah, nobody does.
Bogdanovic probably gets more coverage, even though I think Bojan is way better.
Yeah, I see that.
Power forward, this one, I might get a little flack for it, but I think Kevin Love is underrated right now. Because you look at his numbers, he's averaging 18 and 10 on 45% shooting and almost 40% from 3. So he's this kind of what you want from a power forward in today's NBA. He can shoot threes. He doesn't need the ball in his hand. He grabs you 10 rebounds a game. I think, the Cavs, it's no secret, they're not the best team in the league right now, but I feel like Kevin Love is still putting up numbers at the level where he should be considered an all-star, or at least, like in that conversation. But I feel like he's kind of just been forgotten, and he's looked at more of a liability because of his huge contract than anything right now.
I mean, like he's like the best Cavaliers player in my opinion. I mean, and he has a ring too, so that's why I wouldn't really rank him.
Experience.
Yeah.
Do you think it could be an age thing?
I would take him on my team right now. I mean, the contract is a little hefty to get over with, but like if you gave me an option between him and Gordon Hayward right now, I'd probably take Kevin Love.
That is true. He produces more too.
My center, I have Hassan Whiteside.
Ooh, I forgot about him.
Career resurgence right now.
I totally forgot he existed.
Him as like kind of that big goofy guy on the Heat.
Yeah.
Really take basketball seriously. But if you look at his stats now, he's averaging 16 points and 14 rebounds on the Blazers with let me see here, 3 blocks a game.
Ooh.
So that's like as many blocks, or I think even more blocks than Rudy Gobert had last year when Rudy Gobert won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
He's grabbing 14 rebounds, Hassan Whiteside, I mean, I don't think it's talked as much because the Trailblazers aren't winning as much as they were last year.
Yes.
But Whiteside, I don't think that's because of Whiteside. Whiteside's numbers are great. To be honest, I didn't even know I knew he was on the Trailblazers, but I didn't even know he was averaging. If I had to guess, I would say he would have been averaging like 10 points, 12 assists, and like 12 rebounds and like a block. But to know that he's putting up 16, 14, and 3, that kind of surprised me.
Yeah.
And then my 6th man, and people for a loop, but I'm actually going with. I was stuck between a couple people here, but I think I'm going to go with Jonas Valanciunas on the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
Ooh, okay.
This might be a product of John Morant, just his passing abilities, and everybody's kind of focusing on John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. But Valanciunas is putting up, I think, 14 and 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Really good efficiency because he's a center, obviously. So, and he's like never talked about at all. Like when you talk about the Grizzlies, you talk about obviously John Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr., Dylan Brooks. Andre Iguodala was talked about more, even though he didn't even play a game for the Grizzlies. So I just think that Valanciunas doesn't really get the recognition he deserves. Although I will say, I almost put Evan Fournier in this spot.
Ooh. Evan Fournier is good too. I mean, yeah, he deserves more credit than he deserves. I mean, than he gets because he produces as well.
Just because his team, they have similar records, but Valanciunas' team is in the West, and it's obviously a lot harder to win in the West than in the East. So I give a nod to Valanciunas.
Yeah. All right. With a couple minutes left, we can talk about the horse competition.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, just give your intake while I present the video.
I feel like it was a great idea. Very, very poor execution. Oh, we have video?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I don't we have the video of Trae Young losing to Chauncey Billups, which surprises me because I don't understand how Trae Young could a 3-point. I just don't understand. Like a backboard 3. So we have a video right here. It's very horrible quality because of the Android thing. I don't understand. Why would you take a one-legged shot? It's just.
I don't know. I feel like it was just very poorly put together. It was it was a good idea, and I'm glad they tried it because it gave us something to do. However, I just don't think it was. I feel like they just didn't put it together. I was watching Zach LaVine take on. Who did he take on? I forgot. I'm totally blanking on it.
Paul Pierce.
Yeah, he was taking on Paul Pierce, and I was just watching. And I was like, I can't even see the ball on the webcam.
The backboard stuff. Like Paul Pierce can't do that. Come on.
Yeah.
And my main problem with the horse competition was there wasn't enough regulations or anything. Some people were in windy outside, freezing, blowing on their hands to stay warm, and then Mike Conley's in an indoor NBA regulation gym where he doesn't have to worry about the wind. He's he can dribble well and stuff. Or like when Allie Quigley and Chris Paul were playing each other, Allie Quigley's backboard looked like you could throw a ball at it like 80 miles per hour and it would just drop it dead and make it in no matter what. Whereas Chris Paul was usually like using like an actual glass backboard. So
Yeah.
I think there were just unfair advantages like that kind of made the winners a little artificial feeling to me.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's
Yeah.
one. Do we know who won the full thing?
No, the semis are tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night.
It's Levine versus I want to say Allie Quigley, and then Chauncey Billups versus Mike Conley.
Ooh.
I want to say, maybe it'll be better. Maybe they'll actually take notes off the last one, make sure, and they might actually improve it. But they're gonna need to do a lot of improving if I'm gonna watch it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't want another Android quality video.
They just need to make some rules to it. Like,
yeah,
they said no dunking, but then Zach LaVine would do like a touch backboard one side, then do reverse and like do a touch and like hit the rim on the other side or something. He's basically doing everything but dunking with his like leaping ability. And like if he goes up against Allie Quigley and does that, like obviously she's not gonna be able to do it. He has like what 7-8 inches on her.
Yeah.
So
it should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm very thankful that they're actually trying to do it and they're attempting to do something with sports. I feel like that's very good for them to do. Keeping us all entertained during this, but I just don't think it was did not look good. Honestly, I feel like it was more like I guess it was entertaining. I mean, we had some big names in it. Obviously, that's a huge sell for it. I just think I'm going along with what Pat said. With like regulation and stuff like that, and also just overall quality and presentation was just off. So anything else?
It didn't feel like it was an NBA run event. It felt like people were just kind of like Instagram living and like taking trick shot suggestions in their chat,
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all the time we have. Pat, thank you again for coming on the show.
Much, man.
Thank you guys for having me. It was way better than a normal quarantine day.
Yeah.
I'll take anything.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. We'll see you, Pat.
Bye.
All right, well, everybody, thank you for watching. We will definitely be having him on again in the future, hopefully. Hopefully that time he'll actually, no more technical difficulties. That's the hope, at least. But thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Josh Randall.
I'm Tyler Wright.
And we will see you next time, everybody.
What's up, guys?